The World Government Summit is one of the most important international gatherings to analyze the current state of the world. So for the IAEA, for the International Atomic Energy Agency, it is crucial to be here to showcase a contribution that nuclear energy, nuclear technology is bringing to the table in terms of the mitigation of the global warming and the adaptation of the economies to this new situation. The UAE is a pioneering country in this part of the world in terms of use of nuclear energy. But it wasn't so 10 or 15 years ago. At that time, when the Emirates decided to start this path towards nuclear energy, the IAEA came here and started working with the teams in country for every milestone, for every step that the country should observe, technologically speaking, in the law, in the institutions that it needed, in the capacity building that it needed to accomplish this incredible feat that it was to go from zero to have, at this point, 25% of the energy of this country coming from nuclear energy. And as I understand, there are plans to increase this capacity even more. So we see our work here, the partnership, I would say, between the IAEA and the UAE as a model for others to follow. The nuclear sector in the UAE is already an indispensable part of the energy mix. A quarter of the power which is produced in this country comes from nuclear, and there is a clear path towards more. So what I see is a very clear and very brilliant future for more nuclear energy in this country and in the Gulf as well. In terms of the global energy landscape, what we see is nuclear energy playing an increasingly important role. Last year at the COP28, there was an agreement that nuclear side by side with renewables should be accelerated. And we also saw the commitment of more than 20 countries to triple their current nuclear capacities. And we see this in Europe, we see this in Asia, in China, in India, in Russia, in South America, in Africa, where Egypt now is adding to South Africa in that continent. Here, near your country, most probably in Saudi Arabia as well. So we see that there is a very clear trend of more nuclear activity, and the IAEA, of course, has to play a role in that to make sure that all this happens in a safe and secure way. Nuclear energy is a very particular one because it's a highly technical source of energy. You know, it's the only energy that is not produced by burning something or by using the wind or the nature. It is a product of the human mind. Nuclear fusion, nuclear fission, and all of this creates enormous opportunities in engineering, in technology. So it means that for countries, it's a driving force for a more sophisticated workforce. And the IAEA is very important in terms of creating capacity in countries that is able to sustain the manning of sophisticated facilities like nuclear power reactors. I think in the world in general, what we see, as I was saying, is very important commitments to increase significantly. Of course, this will not happen overnight. At the moment, when we talk about global, nuclear energy is around 12%. So we are talking about, in a couple of decades, moving to 20%, 24%, which is going to be very important because nuclear energy does not have an aspiration of being a dominating energy source, but as a base load, because nuclear energy is very constant, is very stable, does not depend on the wind or the sunshine or any other thing. So normally in an integrated energy mix, nuclear is the stable part of the equation upon which you put other sources, CO2 free, of course. Well, the energy nuclear energy, as I was mentioning, is growing. The agency is preparing for that and increasing its cooperation all over the world.